This isn't the first time you've seen a squirrel picture here on Weekly 50, and in fact, I think there was one not too long ago, but the difference with this picture and others you might have seen is that this was taken not with my 50mm lens. This is taken with my 70-200, and man, do I like that lens for taking pictures of squirrels and other wildlife. It's not good for wildlife that are really far away or really small wildlife, but something like squirrels where you can get decently close to them, it's great. And I think I shot this at, I think this is f2.8, and I used my D750. And when you're doing wildlife, a crop sensor camera is actually nice because you get a little extra reach. My D750 is a full frame, and so I had to get a little closer to the squirrel, and then even then I had to crop into the photo a little bit. But if I were to shoot this with my D7100, I wouldn't have had to get quite as close or crop in quite as much because the crop sensor sort of takes care of that. In any case, I was on campus for what was kind of a nice day given the time of year, and I specifically brought my camera that day because I knew that it would be nice, and I knew I would maybe end up getting a chance to get out and see nature a little bit. So I took about a 5-minute walked around Theta Pond, and sure enough, there's some squirrels. Is it cheating to take pictures of squirrels when they're so readily available? I don't know, maybe. I just think it's fun, so I do it. And I got this photo. I wanted a picture where the squirrel was doing something, and I've kind of learned that over the years. If it's just a picture of a squirrel where there's not much else happening, it's not as interesting of a picture. And this one, he, or maybe it's a she, I don't know, they're eating something or digging up something. Something is in its claws, and it looks like I sort of caught it off guard. And so I thought it made for a little more interesting photo than if it was just a squirrel running around or sitting there. So anyway, it was fun to do it. And, come to think of it, I think I actually shot this in live view. I think I put my camera on the ground, flipped up the screen, and used live view to compose the shot, which I normally don't do. But if you look in the foreground, you'll see that there's grass right up at the bottom of the picture, and I think that's because I had to hold it on the ground. And I don't do that very often, and live view is terrible for wildlife because they move around so much. But in this case, since the squirrel was just sort of sitting there hanging out, I could do that. I wouldn't recommend live view in most shooting situations on DSLR, and certainly not wildlife, but it happened to work out this time.